Have you ever felt a stirring within, a whisper of change on the horizon? Do you sense a deeper transformation unfolding in your life? Today, we're exploring the signs that indicate a significant shift, guided by the timeless wisdom of C.S. Lewis. How do you recognize these moments? What changes are you being called towards? Let's delve into these questions together. If you're intrigued by the journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our community for more insightful discussions. Now let's begin our exploration into the signs of divine transformation. The first sign we'll explore is an unquenchable thirst for meaning. This isn't just about occasional curiosity or the pursuit of new hobbies. It's a deep, pervasive hunger that goes beyond surface-level desires. You might start questioning the very foundations of your life. Your career, relationships, and the activities you once enjoyed no longer satisfy you in the same way. It's as if a switch has been flipped, and what used to quench your thirst now barely moistens your lips. C.S. Lewis addressed this feeling in his work, suggesting that such a thirst is not a mere whim but a signal pointing us towards our need for something greater, something eternal. He likened our desires not to be fooled by mere earthly pleasures, but to recognize them as signposts to our true home with God. Consider the moments when you felt this deep-seated dissatisfaction. What were you doing? Who were you with? It's in these moments of introspection that we often find the whisper of God inviting us to look beyond the temporal and towards the eternal. This longing is not a sign of failure, but a beacon of hope. It's an indication that your soul is ready to embark on a profound journey of transformation, seeking not just answers, but meaning in the embrace of the divine. So I invite you to ponder, how has this thirst for meaning manifested in your life? Can you recall a moment when the everyday pleasures no longer seemed enough, stirring a deep desire for something more significant, more fulfilling? For the second sign, let's delve into the awakening to new aspirations. This is where you begin to notice a shift in your ambitions and dreams. It's not merely about changing preferences. It's a fundamental transformation in what you aspire to achieve and become. The goals and ambitions that once defined your sense of success and purpose might now seem inadequate or misaligned with your evolving self. C.S. Lewis touched upon this notion through his characters' journeys in the Chronicles of Narnia. As the children traverse Narnia, they uncover desires and strengths they never knew they had, revealing how new environments and challenges can awaken us to previously unrecognized potential and purpose. Consider your own evolving aspirations. Maybe you've started to value personal growth, relationships, or spiritual fulfillment over professional achievements or material success. This awakening isn't about dismissing your past ambitions, but recognizing that your path is leading you towards new horizons, ones that promise deeper satisfaction and alignment with your true self. This sign encourages you to embrace these new aspirations with courage and openness. It's an opportunity to explore uncharted territories within yourself, to build a life that reflects your most authentic values and dreams. Reflect on this shift. What new aspirations have recently stirred within you? How do they differ from your past ambitions? And what might they reveal about the person you are becoming? The third sign we'll explore is increased sensitivity to life's depths. This sign is about developing a heightened awareness of life's complexities and a deeper appreciation for its nuances. You may find yourself more attuned to the subtleties of emotions, relationships, and the spiritual undercurrents of daily life. It's as though your emotional and spiritual senses have been fine-tuned, allowing you to perceive and empathize with the deeper struggles and joys of those around you. In C.S. Lewis's The Screwtape Letters, the mentor demon Screwtape advises his nephew Wormwood on the subtleties of leading a human away from God, highlighting the complexity of human emotions and the spiritual battle for souls. This work can remind us of the intricate tapestry of human experience and the importance of remaining attuned to the spiritual dimensions of our lives. As you experience this increased sensitivity, You might find that the black and white perspectives that once dominated your worldview now give way to a richer spectrum of understanding. This can manifest in many ways: a newfound patience with others' faults, a deeper empathy for their struggles, or an enhanced appreciation for beauty and kindness in unexpected places. This heightened awareness is a gift, allowing you to engage with the world in a more meaningful and compassionate manner. It's a sign of spiritual maturation, reflecting a readiness to embrace the fullness of life's experience. Take a moment to reflect. How have you noticed your sensitivity to life's deeper aspects changing? Can you recall recent instances where you felt a profound connection to the emotions or experiences of others? Or perhaps a moment when the beauty of a simple act moved you deeply? The fourth sign is seeking solitude for reflection. This is when you find yourself drawn to moments of solitude, not out of loneliness, but as a deliberate choice for deeper reflection and connection with your inner self, and perhaps a higher spiritual power. In these quiet moments, away from the noise and distractions of everyday life, you may discover insights and revelations that were previously drowned out. C.S. Lewis valued the role of solitude in spiritual growth, as seen in his various works where characters often encounter pivotal moments of insight and transformation when they are alone. For example, in The Horse and His Boy, from the Chronicles of Narnia, Shasta's solitary journey through the mountains becomes a time of profound internal dialogue and revelation about his identity and destiny. This sign is about recognizing the value of stepping back from the constant busyness and chatter of life to nurture a deeper connection with yourself and the divine. It's in the silence that you can hear the subtle whispers of your soul, and perhaps the voice of God guiding you towards your true path. Reflect on your own life. Have you felt a growing need for moments of solitude? How do these periods of reflection contribute to your sense of clarity and purpose? Consider how embracing solitude can be an active step in your spiritual journey, providing space for growth, healing, and deeper understanding. The fifth sign is embracing vulnerability and authenticity. This stage is marked by a willingness to be open about one's weaknesses and imperfections, moving away from the facades of invulnerability or the personas we often present to the world. It involves a deep-seated acceptance of one's true self, flaws and all, and a readiness to engage with others in a more genuine, heartfelt manner. C.S. Lewis, in his personal letters and essays, often discussed the importance of honesty and vulnerability in spiritual growth and human connection. He believed that true fellowship and understanding could only occur when individuals are willing to share not just their strengths, but also their vulnerabilities. This sign of transformation is about shedding the layers of pretense and protection we've built around ourselves. It's about the courage to say, "This is who I am, imperfections included," and to accept the same authenticity from others. This level of openness can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships and a greater sense of community and belonging. As you navigate this sign, consider how embracing vulnerability has impacted your relationships and self-perception. Have there been moments when admitting your vulnerabilities led to a deeper connection or understanding with someone? Reflect on the freedom and growth that come from living authentically and how this aligns with your spiritual journey. The sixth sign is a shift toward service and compassion. This transformation is characterized by a growing desire to serve others and make a positive impact in the world. It's a move away from self-centered goals towards a more altruistic approach to life, where the well-being of others becomes a significant concern. C.S. Lewis emphasized the importance of selflessness and compassion in his writings. In Mere Christianity, for example, he discusses the Christian virtue of charity, suggesting that love for one's neighbor is a fundamental aspect of spiritual growth. This love is not merely a feeling, but an actionable commitment to the welfare of others. As you experience this sign, you might find yourself more involved in acts of kindness, volunteering, or simply being there for people in need. It's a recognition that true fulfillment comes not from what we acquire for ourselves, but from what we give to others. Reflect on how this shift has manifested in your life. Are there recent instances where you felt a strong urge to help or support someone else, even at a cost to your own comfort or convenience? Consider how this growing inclination towards service and compassion is shaping your path and contributing to your spiritual evolution. The seventh sign is deepening inner peace amidst chaos. This sign is characterized by an increasing ability to maintain calmness and inner serenity, even when faced with life's inevitable turmoil and challenges. It's about finding a steady center of peace within yourself that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. C.S. Lewis explored this theme in various works, illustrating how characters found peace through faith and trust in a higher power, even in the midst of trials. For instance, in The Silver Chair, Puddleglum's unwavering faith in Aslan brings him peace and clarity, even in the darkest situations. This growing inner peace is a sign of deepening spiritual maturity. It suggests a trust in a larger plan and an understanding that, despite the chaos of the world, there is a divine order and goodness that prevails. This peace often comes from a place of deep faith and surrender, where one is able to let go of the need to control every outcome and instead trust in the flow of life. Consider moments when you felt this sense of peace, even when things around you were not going as planned. How did it affect your response to the situation? Reflect on the sources of this peace and how it might be a guiding force in your journey of transformation. The eighth and final sign is yearning for eternal connection. This sign is marked by an intensified desire to connect with the divine and to understand one's place in the grand scheme of the universe. It goes beyond a mere acceptance of faith or adherence to religious practices. It's a deep, personal longing to experience a close, intimate relationship with the divine, to sense the eternal presence in your everyday life. C.S. Lewis captured this yearning beautifully in many of his works, perhaps most notably in Surprised by Joy, where he describes his own intense desire for what he called joy, a profound longing for the divine that is both painful and sweet. Lewis suggests that this yearning is a clue to our ultimate destination and purpose, a homing signal from God calling us back to Him. As you encounter this sign, you might find yourself drawn to prayer, meditation, nature, or Scripture in a new way, seeking moments and experiences that bring you closer to the divine. This yearning might also manifest as a restlessness, a sense that no earthly pleasure can fully satisfy this deep desire for connection. Reflect on how this longing has manifested in your life. How do you seek to fulfill this yearning for eternal connection? Consider the ways in which this deep desire influences your choices, your relationships, and your understanding of your purpose in the world. Having explored the 8 signs God is about to change you, it's essential to reflect on how these signs manifest in your life and what they signify about your spiritual journey. Each sign, from the deep longing for more to the yearning for eternal connection, marks a step in the transformative process that draws you closer to your true self and the divine. As we conclude, remember that transformation is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process of growth, learning, and deepening that unfolds throughout our lives. Embrace each sign with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to be led by the divine hand guiding your path. I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Which of these signs have you noticed in your own life? How have they shaped your spiritual journey? Your insights can be a source of encouragement and reflection for others on a similar path. And if you found this exploration meaningful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this content with others who might be navigating their own journeys of transformation. Together, we can support one another in our collective quest for deeper understanding and connection. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the signs of divine transformation. May your journey be filled with growth, insight, and an ever-deepening connection to the divine. In the tapestry of life, It's often the quiet moments that herald the greatest changes. C.S. Lewis, a profound thinker and storyteller, believed that God doesn't always call to us in the thunder, but whispers in the gentle breeze of our everyday experiences. As we embark on this exploration, let us seek the subtle signs that suggest God is about to change our story. Through the lens of Lewis's insights, we will uncover how these quiet awakenings can lead to profound transformations in our journey with the divine. In the midst of life's relentless march, where days meld into one another under the guise of routine, there lies a hidden invitation to awakening. It is not amidst the clamor of grand revelations that most of us find our turning points, but rather in the quiet corners of our existence, where the mundane meets the mystical. Lewis, with his characteristic blend of wit and wisdom, might suggest that God often chooses the whisper over the whirlwind to capture our attention, to stir the depths of our souls. Consider the gentle nudge of a persistent thought, the recurring echo of a dream not yet fully understood, or the quiet discontent that whispers of realms beyond our grasp. These are not mere figments of our imagination, but are, perhaps, the first threads of a divine tapestry being woven into the fabric of our lives. Lewis would likely argue that our most profound awakenings often arise from the simplest of moments. A sunrise that stirs an unspoken yearning, a line from a book that echoes long in our thoughts, or a conversation that leaves our spirit restless for something more. Awakening, in the Lewisian sense, is the dawning realization that the world we see is but a shadow of a more substantial reality that beckons us. It is the initial stirring of the heart that hints at our role in a grander narrative, a story authored by God Himself. This awakening does not shout from the rooftops, but instead whispers in the silence of our being, inviting us to embark on a journey of discovery and transformation. As we heed these subtle signs, we begin to see our lives not as a series of random events, but as a carefully orchestrated symphony composed by the divine maestro. Each note, each rest, plays a crucial part in the unfolding melody of our existence. The nature of this awakening is not a sudden enlightenment, but a gradual unveiling, where the scales fall from our eyes, and we are invited to see the world, ourselves, and our God in a new light. In embracing these quiet awakenings, we open ourselves to the possibility of change, to the divine plot twists that God weaves into our stories. For it is often in the gentle whisper of God's voice that we find the courage to let go of our old selves and step into the new roles He has written for us in His grand, cosmic play. C.S. Lewis once remarked, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." It's a poignant reminder that our trials, though fraught with discomfort, are not mere obstacles, but crucibles for growth and change. In the shadow of suffering, we find not only the harshness of life, but also the potential for divine transformation. Lewis understood suffering as a megaphone that God uses to rouse a deaf world. It's in our moments of pain and adversity that we are often most receptive to change, most aware of our own fragility, and most open to seeking something beyond ourselves. This receptivity can become the fertile ground from which a new chapter of our story, penned by God, begins to emerge. Consider the biblical story of Joseph, who endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, only to rise to a position where he could save nations from famine. His trials were not mere episodes of misfortune, but integral parts of a larger narrative that God was writing. Like Joseph, we may find that our deepest struggles are not detours, but essential pathways to the destiny God has for us. In facing our challenges, we are invited not to despair, but to persevere with the understanding that our current trials may be the very tools God uses to shape us into the characters we need to become for the next scene in our life story. It is through our suffering that we often gain the wisdom, strength, and empathy necessary to embrace the roles God has designed for us. Suffering, then, can be seen as a sign that God is actively working in our lives, pruning us to bear more fruit, as a gardener tends to his plants. The pain of the pruning process is real, but so is the growth that follows. By embracing our hardships with faith and courage, we allow God to transform our trials into triumphs, our pain into purpose. C.S. Lewis famously posited, "If I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world." This profound insight lays the foundation for our third topic, the recognition of our deep, unfulfilled longings as signs that we are destined for something greater, something beyond the mere physical realm. Lewis believed that our most profound desires, those that material pleasures cannot quench, are not merely whims of the human condition, but echoes of our true home calling to us. These unmet desires, these whispers of something more, serve as indicators that our stories are meant to transcend the confines of this world, pointing towards an eternal narrative crafted by the divine. When we experience moments of unexplained yearning, when beauty, love, or a sense of wonder stir within us an insatiable hunger, we are feeling the pull of eternity on our hearts. These are not moments to be dismissed as fleeting emotions, but to be acknowledged as signs of our participation in a larger, divine story. This longing for more is a beacon, guiding us through the fog of routine and the ephemeral, towards the shores of a deeper spiritual truth. It invites us to explore the possibility that the restlessness we feel is a divine discontent, planted within us to lead us back to God, the source of all fulfillment. In our journey with God, these echoes of eternity are calls to action, urging us to seek out our place in God's grand narrative. They remind us that we are not merely players on a worldly stage, but eternal souls fashioned for an everlasting kingdom. As we attune our hearts to these divine whispers, we open ourselves to the transformative work God wishes to do in and through us. We begin to see our lives not as a series of unconnected events, but as a pilgrimage towards a divine horizon, where every longing finds its fulfillment, and every desire points us back to our Creator. C.S. Lewis had a knack for recognizing the divine in the ordinary, often suggesting that what we perceive as mere coincidences are, in fact, the quiet workings of God in our lives. He famously quipped, "Coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous," hinting at the subtle manner in which the divine orchestration unfolds around us. This topic delves into the concept of providence and happy coincidences, exploring how these unexpected encounters and seemingly random events might actually be signposts that God is actively involved in our narrative, gently steering us toward His intended plot twists. Consider the serendipitous meetings that alter the course of our lives, the unforeseen opportunities that arise just when we need them, or the inexplicable timing of events that, in hindsight, fit together too perfectly to be mere chance. These moments, often overlooked or dismissed as luck, may very well be the brushstrokes of God on the canvas of our existence. Lewis would argue that these coincidences are not random at all, but are imbued with purpose, meticulously woven into the fabric of our lives by a loving Creator. They serve as reminders that our stories are not solitary tales, but part of a grand, interconnected narrative, where every character, every event, plays a role in the unfolding divine drama. In recognizing these divine fingerprints in our lives, we're invited to look beyond the surface, to perceive the deeper connections and the guiding hand of God in our journey. This perspective encourages us to trust in the flow of our lives, to remain open to the unexpected, and to find comfort in the knowledge that, even in the chaos, there is a hidden order, a divine plot that we are part of. By embracing the providential nature of these happy coincidences, we allow ourselves to be more attuned to the possibilities that God lays before us, to be more willing to follow the leads He provides, and to be more aware of the continuous dialogue between our desires and His will. Drawing upon the deep well of C.S. Lewis's thought, our fifth topic explores the transformative power of trust in God, especially during times of uncertainty and change. Lewis often spoke of faith as a journey through shadowed valleys and sunlit peaks, with trust in God serving as our guiding light. In the midst of life's tumult, a profound peace can envelop us, a quietude that defies the chaos of our circumstances. This peace, Lewis might argue, is a tangible sign of God's presence and a reminder of His promise to lead us through the storms. It's in the stillness of our hearts, in the quiet trust in God's sovereignty, that we often find the strength to endure and the courage to embrace the unfolding chapters of our story. This tranquility is not born from an absence of trouble, but from an abiding confidence in the One who holds our days in His hands. It's a peace that, as Lewis would say, passes all understanding, a serene assurance that, no matter how the plot twists, the author of our faith is with us, guiding each step. Embracing this quietude of trust involves surrendering our need for control, releasing our grip on the pen with which we try to write our own stories. It means finding rest in the knowledge that, though we may not understand each turn of the page, there is a purpose in every line, a reason for every pause. In this posture of trust, we open ourselves to the transformative work God desires to do within us. We allow Him to pen His will in our lives, leading us not only to a place of peace amidst the storm, but also to a deeper relationship with Him. It's here, in the quietude of trust, that we are truly prepared for the changes God is weaving into our narrative. In the spirit of C.S. Lewis, we've journeyed through the landscapes of awakening, suffering, longing, providence, and trust, each path revealing signs that God is at work, reshaping our story. Lewis, with his profound understanding of the human and divine narrative, reminds us that our lives are not mere collections of random events, but integral chapters in a grander story authored by God. As we reflect on the signs of God's transformative work in our lives, the quiet awakenings, the purpose within suffering, the unquenchable longings, the serendipitous encounters, and the peace that comes from trust, we are invited to see ourselves as characters in a divine play, with roles to play and lines to speak, that contribute to the unfolding of God's great narrative. This journey of discovery does not end here. It continues each day, with every heartbeat and breath, as we live out the story God is writing for us. We are called not just to be passive observers, but active participants, co-creators with God, in the ongoing creation of our lives and the world around us. Let us then embrace our part in this grand narrative with courage and hope, trusting in the author who knows the end from the beginning. May we be attentive to the subtle signs of His guidance, open to the transformative power of His pen, and ready to step into the new chapters He is crafting for us. In the words of Lewis, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. As we move forward, may we carry this assurance in our hearts, looking to the future with anticipation for the wondrous story God continues to write in and through us.